Welcome to the High Museum of Art. Today, we're going on a virtual tour through the museum to see how artists use science, technology, engineering, and math. To get started, think about this question. How is an artist like a scientist? Artists and scientists both use tools, creativity, and their imaginations. They experiment and closely observe their surroundings. We're going to be artist-scientists today. Get your pencil and notebook ready and make sketches and observations along with us. Do you have a magnifying glass? If yes, get it out. Click pause on the video at any time to look more closely at a work of art. Let's start looking. Our first work of art. Can you tell what this is? We see a very foggy day in London, England. The buildings are bluish gray, and we can only see their outlines. The sky in the background and the river in the foreground are both filled with pinks, purples, and oranges. In the river, we see a faint outline of a boat. Can you see it? Let's meet the artist. His name is Claude Monet. Mr. Monet was a painter from France who was known for being an impressionist. Impressionist painters didn't paint things in a realistic way. Instead, they painted using their feelings through lights and colors. Impressionists wanted you to get the same impression or feeling that they got when they painted nature, a landscape, or buildings like this. Mr. Monet created almost 20 paintings of the same buildings. He painted impressions of the scene, showing different times of day and different types of weather. How do you think Claude Monet was like a scientist? How do you think he studied the weather and times of day to paint these buildings? Do you think he observed the world around him like a scientist does? Now let's look at another artist who was inspired by nature to create her paintings. Shh, let's be very still. Can you spot an animal in our midst? Look closely behind the black squares. What could that be? It's a cat! What sound does a cat make? A meow, you say? Let's meow together on 1, 2, 3. This is a large painting, over 11 feet tall and over 10 feet wide. It's black, white, gray, and cream, and has black squares and a grid pattern all over the painting. There are black and cream squiggly lines. Find one curvy line to trace with your finger. Start at the bottom and follow the line as it moves up, does a loop, and then goes back down. Right in the middle of the painting, we see the gray eyes of a sneaky cat. Let's meet the artist. Laura Owens was born in Euclid, Ohio in 1970. She once said, "Don't be afraid to make mistakes." She also said, "It's important to try and fail and to believe that things can do things." How do you think Laura Owens is like a scientist? Laura Owens experiments or tries things out in her paintings. She knows that failing or messing up is part of the process. Scientists experiment all the time. What are other ways that Laura Owens and scientists are similar? Let's check out another artist who, like Claude Monet and Laura Owens, experiments and observes the world around them. Whoa! What do we have here? This painting is about 5 feet long and over 2 feet tall. It's filled with red, yellow, pink, blue, purple, cream, gold, brown, and gray dots. In the top right-hand corner are lighter colors, and toward the bottom half of the painting are darker colors. We call this an abstract painting because the artist is not showing us a realistic world, but a world filled with lights, colors, and shapes. Why don't we meet the artist? Norman Lewis was born in 1909, over 100 years ago, in New York City. When he lived, he was deeply committed to civil and equal rights for African Americans. In this painting, we see what possibly could be people in the foreground, where the dark shapes are. Perhaps these people are fighting for civil rights, since we know this was very important to Mr. Lewis. What else do you see? Although this painting is abstract, how do you think Norman Lewis created this colorful scene filled with people and more? He filled this painting with thousands of dots to create his story through paint. Like a scientist, Mr. Lewis used his imagination and experimented with lights and colors to show us a very unique work of art. Speaking of imagination, let's look at one more work of art where an artist used scientific tools and skills. Okay, this is unlike anything we've seen today. This sculpture, or three-dimensional work of art, has a lot going on. Like Norman Lewis's painting, it is abstract. It doesn't look exactly like a person, but we still know it's a person. The sculpture has 2 legs made of springs, gears, and metal parts. His arms are up in the air and similarly made of bike wheels, wire, and a metal chain. He is wearing a yellow construction hat and sunglasses. The name of the sculpture is Power Man. The artist is Charlie Lucas. He was born in Alabama in 1951. Mr. Lucas comes from a long line of artists, basket weavers, wood carvers, and metalsmiths, or people who create objects and art out of metal. Let's think back to the ways artists and scientists are alike. They both observe the world around them. They both experiment and try things out, and they both use their imagination. Both artists and scientists also use math, technology, and engineering in their work. We can see all of this in Power Man. This sculpture was created by welding, or fusing metal together. This is a complicated and difficult process. Welding is a form of technology that is used in creating the steel beams in buildings, iron fences, cars, and more. Charlie Lucas also had to use balance to make sure his sculpture would stand up on its own. How else is Mr. Lucas like a scientist? Thank you for joining us on this journey to discover how artists are like scientists. We talked about how both artists and scientists experiment, take risks, use their imagination, and observe the world around them. Now it's your turn. Grab your notebook or paper and something to draw with. All the artists we looked at today centered in their work another very important part of art, science, design, and technology: empathy. Empathy is being aware of, and sensitive to another person's feelings. Art, science, math, engineering, technology, and design all use empathy to teach us about life and to solve problems that our world is facing. We want to leave you with an empathy-centered design challenge. Think of someone in your life. It could be a family member, teacher, friend, or even a pet. Design an outdoor playground just for them. Think about their favorite colors and favorite textures. What else are some of their favorite things that might inspire your design? What are their hobbies and interests? You can even interview them. Then, design a playground that only they would love. Are there slides? Is there a climbing wall or a splash pool? The sky is the limit. Share your creative and innovative playground designs with the High Museum. Ask your caregiver to help you share on social media using the tag #HighMuseumAtHome. Investigate further how artists and scientists are similar with our related art activities, videos, and links provided on the Learn tab at www.high.org. Thank you for joining us on a tour of science, technology, engineering, art, and math.